Just talk about
I'm Dave with the Convention Junkies. I'm here with Mike Quinn.
Thank you.
You were gracious enough to allow me to come here. I talked to you earlier and I said, please let me talk to you about your career.
And I said, no way, and you're here anyway. Yeah.
Well, it was a court order. I'm entitled to visitation.
That's true.
I want to just quickly introduce the audience to legendary puppeteer, actor, director, voice actor, and other stuff that I can go
Other
on.
stuff,
Yeah. Because it's really,
Producer.
you can really, into minutia, you can just
Puppet
go.
maker.
Yes. Constructionist, deconstructionist. You've worked on and in Muppet shows and films and The Dark Crystal, which is really one of my like my seminal movie. That and Starman for some reason.
Oh, nice!
The two movies I quote all the time.
Very nice.
And Return of the Jedi, Jurassic Park. God, you've been in every tentpole production there can be for like mega billion-dollar productions. You've been somehow associated with them, so you have a good agent, or
somewhat. I don't know. Just the right place at the right time.
Horseshoes somewhere.
The will to keep working and performing and doing stuff I haven't done before as well. You know, go outside of my comfort zone and challenge myself. So I put myself in front of these places sometimes. If I want to do something badly enough, then I'll sort of try to align myself so it can happen, basically. Yeah.
I knew I was going to be talking to you, and I definitely wanted to know your opinion. When I spoke to the director of the original The Thing.
The Thing.
Yeah.
Not a thing. Not any old thing.
Yeah.
The
Thing.
Wow, there's only
1981, I believe.
Right, something like that. Yeah.
I asked him, what did you think of that remake they did, or that sort of the sequel, more or less?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no. Gosh, sorry, it was a prequel. God, that really messes with your head, yeah. Like it would matter to anybody, but somebody's going to correct me.
Yeah.
But it is a prequel. I asked him what he thought of it as a director, like, because people have a sort of ownership or a sense of like belonging to a franchise they began. So, what do you think of the Dark Crystal series on Netflix? I mean, are you happy with it?
Yeah. I think it's something that needed to be done, and I've only got 4 episodes in so far, so I'm not through the whole series yet.
Yeah.
But a lot of my friends worked on it, and there's so many practical puppet creatures and characters in there. So it's something that I think Jim probably would have been very excited about and wanted to do. And I think going for a series is a good direction. When you make a film, it's like it's this one thing and it has to do well, and there's so much riding on a movie. But when you do a series, it has more time you got more time to develop the story and characters, but it has more longevity to find its audience.
Pacing.
So and it's just out there for more time. So there's less. I think there's less risk with a series as well. You know,
and especially with a couple organizations like Netflix streaming services, they give more, like, instead of like a bunch of producers like from a studio telling them they have to change this or that. They kind of have a hands-off approach, and they give us a
more
better
autonomy
product.
and
a director's movie, not or series, not like a producer series.
Yeah. So it's a good thing overall, and I hope that it does well. I hope they'll be able to make a second series, and then maybe that could lead to even some sort of labyrinth thing. Who knows, right? I mean, anything's possible. So it's good. More puppets are good.
I definitely wanted to ask you. This is like an ongoing argument in the community of nerds or geeks.
Okay.
People are really into CGI. Think, but it used to be a little bit sketchy, but with certain Toy Story movies and Industrial Light and Magic and Cameron and Avatar, and they're starting to see, you're starting to get over that CG hump.
Yes.
But still, things look. The human eye can just feel that our practical effects. Like, where do you sit on this? Because you benefited from some digital effects, but how would you think?
Basically, I feel now that there was people were saying, animatronics are dead, puppets are dead, it's all gone to CGI, it's so sad that it's gone away, and it's like, it never did leave, and I always said, there might be less of it may be less trendy right now to do practical puppets and creatures, but we're still doing that, I never stopped doing it. And I knew that the pendulum would swing back to practical effects. And that's what it's done now. But we're now reaching a point where producers and directors and creatives are starting to understand that there is a place for both. And if you use them both to the best of what they do and use them well, they can sit together quite well now.
In the right hands, it could be pretty
in the right
magical.
hands. So that's the thing. So we're seeing sort of hybrids and combinations now of puppet effects and CG enhancements. We can use the technology to lose puppeteers now and lose rods and things like that, which we couldn't do before. Set extensions, digital stunts, things that are not always safe or possible or practical, certainly with puppet creatures and things like that. So I think there really is a place for both, and I think we're starting to see some of that happen now, where sometimes we're seeing a few digital things that we're not even aware they are digital.
So they're tricking you.
Which is great, so stuff is starting to look more real now. Especially in the real environment. So I think we're getting somewhere.
The reason I see people starting to line up.
No, that's fine.
We got to be.
Oh no, that's my agent.
Oh jeez.
Yeah.
He had me nervous. Like the big hook comes and pulls my neck back.
No, he's just he can wait.
Sure. Well, do you now? I guess I can ask this of you. Do you prefer sort of a disembodied role, or do you prefer like just being in the moment? Because you've been the voice of things.
Yes,
and you've been in a costume.
Yes.
I've almost never seen your face physically, so I mentioned like it's either I'm going to be in a hot sweaty costume, but I'll be there.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to be in a room somewhere just completely disjointed from what's actually happening and just using my imagination. What do you prefer at this point?
I mean, the only time disembodied. I've never felt disembodied. I guess from anything for sure, because you're still putting a part of you into this whatever that is.
I mean, literally, like you're not in the. You can't occupy a cartoon. That's what I kind of meant by disembodied.
In my mind, I do though. That's the thing. So, I produced and directed, so I sort of live out both sides of the camera anyway. So it's they all have their place. They all fascinate me, and they're all part of this creating that jigsaw puzzle in a way, and they're all connected. So like my puppetry helped my animation, and my animation helped my puppetry. So one feeds into the other. So I just see them all as having different roles to play in the creativity in a way. I suppose the most disjointed to me would be when doing animation, keyframe animation, because that is just so slow and it's just very tedious. You don't have the gratification of performing live. So at least when you're doing voices or any kind of performing, it's a live event. But when you're animating, it's the opposite of that. You're still trying to bring something to life.
I think it's more fun, and if you're versatile, and you go back and forth, you don't get bored. Like if you do a voice project and then you costume thing and then you build puppets, you're not like getting you're looking forward to your day. Like, oh, this is gonna be different. It's not gonna be a slug or a slug fest or what do they call it? Now, I guess one of the last things I'm going to say is meeting fans is something especially important for somebody that's known for being behind the scenes or not physically showing a lot. So this must be a great outlet for you. Like some people, like you see them on the street, like you're Tom Cruise, and they're going to hunt you down. You're going to be hounded by the paparazzi. You have a bit of an anonymity, which is nice.
A lot,
but you crave that, like connection with the fans through conventions and going to D23 or whatever it is you do. So, I mean, that must be an important outlet for somebody
it's
mask.
only something I've sort of done in the last 20 years or so.
Yeah.
But it's quite good because for the first time I was able to sort of get feedback on what I'd done with characters like Nien Nunb, for example.
Yeah.
You're working in sort of a void and you just do what you think is right, and then you see the finished thing and the movie's out there and then it's gone and then you're on to the next project and you move on. So, but with something like the Star Wars stuff, for example, I'm finally able to get feedback now, both doing conventions and shows like this, and also with social media as well.
Yeah.
So I get to hear what people actually really are interested in, what they like, what they enjoyed about the character, what stuck with them, little things that I wouldn't have thought about, and what they would like to see again in the future.
It might inform you to, acting choices are
it does.
Oh, somebody in Albuquerque said something about this.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, exactly. And especially if something keeps coming up again and again, then I'll try and feed that back into what I'm doing. So, we're in an interesting time now where the fans can actually have almost a subliminal say in what you do.
It's your one-on-one focus group.
It is basically, isn't it?
That's what
but also, the other side of that is I'm also a fan as well.
Yeah.
So I kind of do see these projects from both sides of the lens, both as a performer but also as a fan as well. So, it's kind of quite gratifying. And I've been collecting autographs since I was a little kid.
Yeah.
So, and I still do,
Star Wars fans, don't kill me. Is that character still alive in the universe, or is he dead in film? Does something? Because I don't follow. I watch these films, but I don't have an endemic memory.
Yes, he's still alive. Yes.
Thank God.
He was in the Falcon at the end of the Last Jedi with Finn.
Sorry, just because I worry, I'm like, there's so many characters to keep track of. It's like walking.
It's only because they forgot to kill him off, so he's still alive. It's like, oh, Lionel's still alive. Oh, okay, we'll have to write him into the next film then.
Hopefully, you'll see him again.
So yes, exactly. Well, he's one of the few rebel resistance fighters now left from the last movie. There's only a handful of us left now. That we survived on the Falcon to go and save the galaxy. So that's where we're at now at the beginning of the Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah, well, that's a big deal.
It's a big deal. It is a big deal.
If you were in it, you couldn't say anything about it anyways, because somebody would come along and stab you in the back, and they'd replace you with another human being.
Again.
As they say in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., something just facsimile. Listen, do you have any future projects or anything that you can talk about that you won't get attacked for?
Yeah, I mean, I have my online puppetry academy, which is something that I wished I'd had when I was starting out. There was no such thing as the internet back then, and there were no schools to learn film and TV puppetry. So I have that online right now. It's called Secrets of Puppetry.
Okay.
So they can find that or find me on social media if they want to find out more about that, how to learn how to do the techniques for this stuff.
And get connected with you so that they can find it about, like, if you're going to be appearing or whatever, you'll blast them out and go, I'll be in this tomorrow or that tomorrow.
Yeah, or next week or next month. And people ask me, so I interact. People often ask me questions about things, or how do I get into the industry, or how do I become a puppeteer, or whatever, and I try to help people as much as I can. So, yeah, I'm open to that. Yeah.
Well, thank you. Listen,
thank you so much.
I purelled up. I saw you doing the same.
Indeed. Cheers. Thank you so much. Yeah.